Alright, here we go. I made a custom mold for this. Here's the actual Battleship project itself from the Battleship wood, deck wood. But over here's my mock-up. So I'm going to practice here first to make sure it's right. And if I get this incorrect, then I'll do it over here. I understand this board's a little bit thinner than over here. That's just a different amount of epoxy. I didn't want to waste too much on the practice run. Epoxy's not cheap. It'll be more epoxy over here. But what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna seal the wood. I'm just gonna pour a little layer in the bottom of blue. But over here, I'm gonna seal it. So once I get the blue poured over here, I'm actually gonna seal these cracks up and stuff. So whenever I pour this one, the wood doesn't absorb it all the way and create bubbles in the final project on this one. I know that's gonna happen over here, but that's just something I'm gonna deal with, because I'm going to skip that step on this one, but not skip that step over here. So I'm gonna seal these and not seal this. So this one's probably gonna be bubbly, and I know that's gonna happen, and I'm okay with that. But anyway, so the project's about 2 foot wide by 1 foot tall. These ones over here are about 3.5 inches. These are right at 3 inches. So that's the custom mold I got going for this Battleship project. All right, here we go. Here's the Battleship Texas. It's about front to back 11.5 inches, and here down is right at 3 inches. It's pretty big mold. Not mold, model, sorry. Turn it so you can see it. So it just came out of the resin printer, and it took me about 3 hours total to get all of the support structures off, because there was in between the guns and the back of the guns back here. Let me show you a point with these. There was stuff back here in this slot, in this slot, up in here. They had diagonals going across. It was real tight right up in here, behind this gun, underneath these guns, on the top, in between these decks, right in here, down here, everywhere, behind there, behind here, in between, right there. There was just supports all over the place, and it took quite some time to get them all off. But there you have it. There's a little rudder on the back. And there you have it. Battleship Texas. And a 3D model print. About to go wash it again in the cure station. I'm going to wash it and then cure it so it'll harden. Right, there you go. Alright, here's my Battleship that I 3D resin printed in gray. And I marked some markings with my rule on this paper towel here. This thing is 11 inches long. There's a 6-inch mark right there. And if you look, it is right at 3 inches tall. And I'm about to paint it. So I got my paint here. I'm going to be using navy blue for the floor where the deck wood would be. And then I got wine, which is like this red. That's going to be the bottom of the boat, which clearly is going to be in the water. Not really going to see it. I guess it's for some kind of water protection. I don't know. And then I have this medium gray. And I know this is already gray, but look at all these scratches in there for me cleaning it up and stuff. So I'm just going to paint the whole top of it gray. And then I have a black paint pen that I'm going to use to paint the stripe that separates the red and the gray. It goes all the way around. And when I get done painting it, then I can drop it in the epoxy mold for the charcuterie board that I'm making with the deck wood. It's going to look pretty cool. Check it out. The rudder back here, look at this. On the rudder, it's slightly tilted to the left, just like it is currently in the repair dock, the dry dock. It's kicked off to the left a little bit. And if you look, you can kind of see how it's not centered. I did not do that on purpose. That was not part of the drawing. I think that did that when it was curing in the cure station right over there at the end of the drill. When I had it set in there, I think it was just barely leaning on one of the edges, which actually is kind of cool because it's an actual replica of the current ship. So it's pretty cool that it kicks off to the left like that. Anyway, what do you think about it? You like it? Hey y'all, I'm going to do the next step of this epoxy project for the Battleship Texas. So let's take a look what we got going on. All right, this is a 3D printed print without supports, and it failed because the bottom's all jacked up. I should have used supports. I forgot to add them, and the top tower broke off. But this is just a sample of the other one that I resin printed. It's going to be sitting in here. This is wood from the Battleship right here. And what I'm going to do before pouring the full deep cast, I have to pour a thin layer. So I got some epoxy whipped up right here. What I'm going to do is, this is a blue with turquoise and Caribbean, 3 different color pigments. I'm going to pour a thin layer right here on the bottom, because what I'd like to do, if I don't, let's just say this is the bottom of the board here. If I don't put a thin layer, this thing's going to sit directly on the bottom of the mold here. And that way, when I take this out of the mold and flip it upside down, this will be visible and on the very bottom. And I do not want that. I want the bottom of the boat hidden. So I'm going to put a real thin layer of epoxy of this color on the bottom. And then once it cures up, I will drop the other boat on top of it. So that way, that resin there will be cured down there. Then we'll have the boat above it sitting on top of it. Then I'll pour the next layer of blue colored epoxy. That way, the bottom of the other boat that I will put in here will not be on the very, very bottom down here. Because I know when I get done, you can see all these little specks. That's from when I sealed the wood. And I'm going to have to plane that down. And when I do that, I don't want to trim off the bottom of the boat. So I got to give it a layer up. And by doing that, I'll have the gap or the thickness, the space that I'm going to need to be able to plane this down to get this nice and smooth and all the same consistency. And then the bottom of the boat will not be damaged or touched or anything, because it'll be sitting on top of this layer. And then once that second layer goes, I'm going to let it cure, and then I'll pour a full deep cast clear, about yay much, because this next layer is going to be probably right in there. So above this stick here, up is going to be all clear. Here down is about to be this blue. There's going to be 2 layers of this blue. And I just wanted to do a video of pouring this thin layer here. So without further ado, let's pour it. I don't want to pour too much because I want a very, very thin layer. And hopefully I have enough in this cup to give me that thin layer that I need. Yeah, I might have to pour it all out. Let's see. I'm just going to have to maneuver it around. Yeah, I don't have enough in this cup. That was 100 milliliters, or 8 ounces. I'm sorry, not 100. 240. That's what it says on the cup here. I'm going to pour this real quick, or pause the video real quick so I can scrape the rest of this out. Alright, got it all poured out. I scraped the cup and spread it as good as I can. Now I'm going to try to torch out the bubbles, and also by heating it up, see if it'll help spread a little bit more, because it'll be more fluid when it's hotter. And if not, I'm gonna have to actually tilt the table, well, the mold, not the table. It looks like it's spreading out pretty good though. And I think what I'm also going to do here is go get some white and pour it in here once this hardens up a little bit, to see if it will flow like I want to. Because if it does, I'm going to use it for crashing waves. But if it does not, it's going to get covered up with another layer anyway. So I'll set that down. It looks pretty good. And that's a nice little water color, blue. I don't want a plain dark one, but this is nice. It's got a couple different colors in it. It's gonna be a nice little pigment. It's got blue, Caribbean, and turquoise. And it's good. Contrasts the wood pretty good. I like it. What do y'all think about it? Just imagine a little 3D ship model right there, because that's what's going to be in there. Well, there you have it. All right, I'm back. So the little thin blue layer of epoxy I put down gummed up a little bit, and I whipped up some pearl, just a little bit, kind of translucent, just to make it look like waves. So I'm going to try to set this camera up real quick, and watch me pour right into here. And I'm also going to try and use a heat gun, push the white around to make it look like waves. So here is the pearl. I'm going to give it one good last mix up real quick. And then I'm just going to pour a little bit out. I know I don't have an actual ship here, but I'm just going to kind of see if I could play with it a little bit. It's probably going to be like right in here somewhere. Maybe I should let the blue sit up a little bit more. Well, this is kind of good though. It gives me a little layer for the bottom. Helps thicken this up a little some. That kind of looks cool on its own right there. The white is sinking a little bit because I guess the blue's not thick enough. Anyway, we're gonna get the rest of that out real quick. Push it off the stick. Drip, drip, drop. Alright, now I've used all the epoxy. I will stick this over here. And I will now use the heat gun to push it around to see if I can get it to mimic waves crashing. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to try a different tactic for the next layer. There we go. That's what I want to see right there. It's just like sinking, like creating a crevice and going back in there. I wonder if I should heat up the area around it. Should that push? Yeah, it sank. Yeah, it kind of looks cool. You can tell it sank down a little bit. I need to lay off of that because I started seeing it smoking. I don't know if you can tell, but that's burning. I don't want to burn it. It kind of, I mean, if there was a ship in there, you could probably tell that it was like waves crashing. Maybe I should use a blow dryer. You know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to pause the video, go get a blow dryer. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with the blow dryer. I'm going to try to use it to push waves, and let's see what that looks like. Well, kind of. Alright, well, got that pushed out now. Let me show you what it looks like from... So I think maybe I'll just let it set up a little bit longer before I put white on there. That way the white doesn't go into the blue and try to sink. But it's kind of cool though, a little design, how I like pushed it around and kind of does like little waves in there and stuff you see. Pretty neat. I kind of like it. So, what do you think? Here's this board. Look at the way, looks like the waves are actually moving. It looks pretty sick. I like it. But this layer is going to be covered up. This was a practice run for the next layer. But it does look pretty cool. Got a lot of movement in there, especially down here. You kind of see. Looks like waves are rolling. Howdy folks, Corey here with Straff Studios. And it's been about a week since I shaved. Anyway, I'm working on this Battleship project, and I'm working on doing some decals on the ship. So let me show you what I got going on here. And show you where I'm at in this process. I'm going to first open up my laptop real quick and show you I just made a decal. Just to practice. Cut decal, name of the ship, and the number. So the number, well, it's going to go up here. And then the name goes in the back there. So I did this. I've been practicing. I use that to cut out and just been playing around. And there's the ship itself right there. Alright, so I got all these little cutouts here, and I'm going to show you what I've been doing here with them. The word Texas is going to go back here. The number is going to go right there. And also the number is going to go up here on both sides. So let me show you this. Working with here. It is a tinkering mess. Let me see if I can get some good view here so y'all can see what I'm about to do, because this part is monotonous and it kind of sucks, but I think it's going to look really cool when it's done. This is vinyl cut decals, and they're super tiny. I mean, see how small they are compared to my finger. It took a while to peel off all the vinyl around the letters and get the letters to stay. So you've seen the varsity letters on like Letterman jackets. I'm going to take these white decals and place them over the black ones, offset just a little bit to make it look like a shadow. So the black's going to be the shadow, the white's going to be on the front, and the white's going to pop. So I'm actually about to finish this one up, and I wanted to show you what I'm working with here, because doing this took some time. So let me show y'all how to peel it up here and set it. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to take this little X-Acto knife, stick it in here, and cut me a slot just so I can have something to grip, because it's hard to get these. Anyway, take this carefully, and you want to peel it back slowly so you can remove it, but not the letters or the numbers, whatever it is that you're peeling back, and you can see them slowly coming off. And voila, you have that left, and that's for trash. So actually pretty cool little process just to do that. But I will tell you right now, when it came to doing these little bitty Texases, they didn't come out. The letters actually stuck to the whole sheet, so I had to like peel out each one individually and put them back. All right. So the next thing you do is you take some transfer paper, which I have here. I'm just going to cut me a small little strip. This I just stuck. I'm reusing the same piece I had earlier, so I'm just going to cut this right there. I'm probably cut right there. That should be enough. Hopefully it's enough for both. If not, I'll use some more. That's barely going to be enough. I just lay that on there, and then I got this one. I don't know if, yeah, that's not enough. I'm just going to show you this one, and then I'll do the other. So you take your, I call it a squeegee. It's like a little card thing. I have a felt side and a non-felt side. Apparently the felt side digs deeper, but all you're doing is pressing this down, and what it does is make that decal stick to the adhesive. So when you can pull it off, it actually stays. All right, then we're going to peel this up lightly. There you go. So now we have that. And here's a monotonous part. You gotta lay this down perfectly on this one to make the shadow effect. I'm gonna see if I can do this properly real quick, so stand by. You know what, I think it's gonna be easier if I do one at a time. I'm trying to line up 4 spots, one for each letter. It would be too hard. So I'll just set that to the side for a second and try to do this one. Oh yeah, boom. Look at that. There you have it. Let me zoom in so you can see it. How cool is that? It's exactly what I was going for. What? You want to see it again? Okay, I'll show you again. Check this other one. We're going to do the same thing. Let me try to move this so it can be in the camera here. We're going to put this just over it to make it look like it's a shadow. And there. Ah, okay, mine's stuck. Let's try it again. That's not as shadowy as I would like. And it's already stuck. Hold on. Maybe I can peel this the white off and reset it. The other one's still on there. The 5 is coming off, but not the 3. Alright, I'm just going to have to go with it. It's going to be underneath the ship anyway. It's going to be hard to see. But anyway, there you go. That's the varsity numbers that I was kind of going for. Got that little shadow drop on it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do these other ones off camera. And get them ready to set up for the ship and put them on there. Well, thanks for watching. And this bad boy will be done here soon. We're almost there. I will be pouring epoxy later this evening. Putting this bad boy in the water. It leaves the dry dock. It goes and gets wet. That's what we're going to be doing. Well, there you have it. The Battleship Texas. Completed with the decals. As close as possible as I could get scale-wise. I went as small as possible. I was having a lot of trouble with the vinyl. So the letters are a little big compared to the scale of this ship size. The smaller ones I just could not get to work, so I had to go a little bit bigger with it. And this is 3D resin printed, painted, decaled, and about to go into a river of epoxy. Pretty good alignment though. The decals. That's our baby. I gotta be careful with it because it is resin and cured, but it's fragile. See, I gotta paint that on there. I gotta go do a clear coat before I put it in resin, so one of these decals right here can stick and not peel off. All right, time to put her in a clear lacquer bath. I'm gonna just spray it on a rattle can. All right, cool. There you go. I am working on the next step of the Battleship Texas project, and that step is to actually pour the river with epoxy for the ship to actually sit in, so it looks like it's sitting on water. And I already got the ship set in the mold on the very bottom layer, attached with CA glue so it doesn't move or float once I pour this liquid in there. Let me show you what colors we're going to use. I have turquoise, blue, and Caribbean. I got my epoxy right here set up ready to receive the color pigments, and I'm going to mix it together and then we're going to go pour it. So let's pour some colors. Alright, so first color is going to be blue. Sorry about the focusing on there. So we're just going to pour a pretty good amount in there because it's a lot of epoxy and we got to get it really filled in so it doesn't look too translucent. That's a pretty good amount of blue, I think, and we're going to mix it up and see what it looks like, and if it needs more then we'll add more to it. The next color we're going to use is Caribbean, so it lightens it up a little bit. This blue is actually kind of dark, so I want to add quite a bit of this Caribbean color, and we're going to pour that right here. There we go. I think that's pretty good. I'll go a tad bit more. And I'm just kind of like guesstimating the amount here. So there we go, we got Caribbean. And then our last color, I'm gonna use turquoise, but very little turquoise because it has a lot of green in it. It's pretty dark and it will really overpower the other colors and try to like dominate. I don't want that, so we're gonna do a little bit of turquoise. So we're gonna put that right here, about that much, a tad bit more, there we go. So that way you'll see hints of green, but it won't like overpower. Let me move this light so you can see better. There we go. Might got a little reflection there. My favorite part of doing the epoxy is this step that I'm about to do right here, and that's mix the colors and then pouring it. Pouring it is probably my favorite. Let me see if I can adjust the light higher because I need the drill. I have a drill here with a paddle on it, and I'm just using this to mix. So let's mix. I'm just gonna put it down here on the bottom, and we're gonna turn it on and wait for the pigment to suck in down. That's like my favorite part of watching this. There, it's about to go. Get the rest of it in there. It's going. There's usually a spot where it just like all dunks. This one's barely gradually going in a little at a time. It's almost all, there we go. All of it's in there. Let me go with my left hand so I'm not blocking the light. You just mix around, make sure all the pigment gets incorporated to the clear. And I'm gonna have to mix up the walls to get all the sides scraped off. I use this paddle on the bottom to scrape the bottom, which is, you can hear it right here scraping the bottom. Come up a little bit. Now I'm gonna come out right here and let it splatter off so I can put it over here on above this other bucket so it drips onto that and it doesn't get everywhere. That's gonna be a pretty cool color. And I'm gonna use this popsicle stick right here, and I'm just scrape the walls right here and try to get all those pigments off the walls. And there's lots of clear that's on the wall that did not get incorporated into the pigment. So I gotta scrape the clear that's off the walls, break the surface tension, and this further mixes it up. And there's a good way, and I'm gonna show you this little test to see if your pigment, or how well your pigment mixed in, and that's to see if it's opaque or solid or like translucent or transparent, whatever you want to call that. So what you do, you just kind of mix it up a little bit here, and you can look at your stick, and if you can see the wood through the stick, then it's not mixed up very well. Like right here, it's breaking over the edges. You can see the top edge. The other thing is to watch the drips. If you think you can see through it, like in the light, then it's translucent. But if it's solid, you won't have that. So you mix it up, and I just kind of play with it on the stick and see. Even if it's a little translucent, when you look over the edges there, that's okay, because the bottom layer inside the mold right now already is blue. So it'd be okay for this one, because it would just be like a 3D effect. But this is so thick right here, and when it pours in, I'm pouring in a 1/2 inch thick. It is so thick, you're not going to be able to see all the way through it, so it's going to look solid anyway and not translucent or transparent. But that's a pretty color. I like it. I'm going to go pour it in the mold next. Let me just clean this up, and we're going to do that process right after this. But got to hit it with the temperature. I got 83. You see I got an IR in there, a little red dot. I just shot it. You want to have it around 90 or more. Not like a whole lot more, like 120. I mean, if it's 120, you better pour it, because that's overheated at that point. But I usually pour between 90 and 105. I don't like to get near 100. That's a little too hot, and it starts doing its exothermic reaction, pretty quickly, and you lose a lot of working time with it. So I usually like to pour it about 90 to 95 degrees, and right now with this being at 82, we still got almost 10 more degrees to go. So a way to speed that up is just mix it a little bit more. That helps incorporate the pigments being mixed in to the epoxy, or just leaving it alone too as well, because part A and B, part B, part A, part B, A and B, however you want to call it, they will do a chemical reaction once they're combined together, such as in this bucket here, and the exothermic reaction will cause it to start to cure, but it heats up first. It gets up to a certain temperature and then it starts to harden, gets gummy. Anyway, let's mix it up one more time, and then we'll go down there and pour. And you can kind of see some of the dark around the edges on the outside, and then it's lighter in the middle. That's just the pigments in the way that they work. Some dark, the way they, what am I trying to say here? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You kind of see how I'm making the circle and it leaves a black line behind it. It depends how dense and where the line is what happens with it. It leaves it darker. So whenever it starts to cure, it's kind of cool because it kind of just randomizes. And it just has a really cool different effect in there. And this is dripping more because I didn't let it splatter around when I pulled it out. And I just want to show you, if it's dripping a lot, I don't want to waste that much epoxy. So when you get done mixing it, I usually just pull out and keep letting it spin so it splatters on the walls of this container. Like so. I'll show you. Look at that. That looks really cool. I could just sit here and watch this almost all day long. That right there is pretty mesmerizing to me. Alright, here we go. I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to show you. I have to pull out slowly and then let the splatter hit the walls right here for about 5-10 seconds. That way I know a lot of the epoxy is off of my paddle. And then it's not constantly dripping here. So I know that I'm not going to be wasting a lot of extra epoxy. So that looks pretty good right there. I got my little heat gun. If I wanted to, I could like pop the bubbles like so. And you can see little craters that it caused. Those are just the bubbles that popped. Leaves a little darker cellulose look to it. It looks pretty cool. But let's go down, pour now. 94, it's time to pour, let's go. All right, here we are. Here's the mold. You got the borders, deck wood from the ship. The first layer is real thin. I got the ship in here. It's not going anywhere because I CA glued it in. Now we're about to pour, so let's do the fun part. The mix was pretty fun, but this is the funner part. I'm gonna make sure that I got it pretty focused over here because this is the best part of the entire thing. I don't want to overdo it either, so I gotta keep an eye on the level where it's gonna be at on the ship, because I don't want to pour it too high and it look like the ship starts sinking. And I have this board level. Yeah, you're definitely not seeing through this because I got enough in there. But look at this. Look how cool this is. I might have over poured, but I poured enough. I'm trying to get this just to the bottom of the 35 that's on the back because it's slightly lower than the 35 that I have up on the front. I know it's not to scale. I had to go as close as I could with the decals without it overdoing it. I'm just sorry, I'm mesmerized as I'm pouring here. I like to just enjoy the moment. Make sure I have enough everywhere, you know. I'm trying to get all the red covered up because I can see the rudder back there, and that's actually supposed to be underwater.
And this blue epoxy here is supposed to symbolize the water. Looks like it's an actual river, maybe not an actual river, but river epoxy. I can't really see what's going on the outside that I'm pouring over here because this thing's on a box. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. Just look around at it. Looks pretty good right here. It's just on solid black line over here. Right at the bottom of the number. Rudder's covered. Looks pretty good. I think I'm just going to pour it just ever so slightly a tad bit more. And then I have quite a bit left over actually. So I'm just going to go pour that into a cross mold and just make a cross out of the same color here. There we go. That looks pretty good right there. Now again, I know this is not to scale. Pretty hard to be 100% accurate. I mean, I could if I wasted a lot more time trying to be perfect. But I'm running out of time. This project's got to be turned in like 2 to 3 weeks. And I don't want to be behind schedule, so this is just going to have to work for now. You can see I actually have a cross mold here. And I make little baseball keychains, so I got a little keychain mold here. But let me pull this phone off and show you. We're going to let this set up for a little bit. But I can't show too much because I got to go pour this epoxy in the cross mold before it gets too hot. So we got some bubbles under there trying to escape. You know what to fix that? Heat, pop, goes the bubble. But check that out though. I mean, sorry about the shadow. Look how cool that is. Let me zoom in. You can see the Texas, the 35 is reflected off the epoxy. So it's barely covered there. I got the front one. And I can't really see the other side, so I'm not even going to try to show that. But it's pretty cool. I'm going to keep coming back every 10 minutes or so, and I'm going to torch this out like so. Because you can see, it pops bubbles. And we don't want bubbles in here. So I'm going to do that every 10-15 minutes for the next hour. And then I'm also going to come back and put some waves in. So it'll look like it's going through water, like actually pushing water. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, checking this out. I appreciate it. And give me a second and I will pour some more into this if you want to watch that. All right, here we go. I'm going to pour just a little bit of this in here. Oh, it's kind of hard to see with the shadow, sorry. Whoa, that's a little too much. That ain't gonna work. I ain't gonna fly. Hold on, I don't wanna get epoxy everywhere like I just did. This is the part that sucks, is when you over pour. Dang it, where'd my rag go? I had a rag on here. Oh, here it is right behind me. Let me wipe my hands off real quick because I don't want to get this everywhere. I'm gonna dump this back out real quick, actually. Right back into the bucket. It's going to overflow, but when it overflows on the edges like this, not a problem because I can just peel it off when it cures. I just don't want that to be too thick, because if it's too thick, it won't look right as a keychain. That's why you got to be real careful with it. You don't want to overdo it. All right, there we go. That should level out pretty good. Here we go. Make a cross. There we go. And I have a lot of epoxy left over in this bucket here. Shoot, what am I sitting at? 16 ounces. That's a whole soda. I'm gonna go pour that into a bigger mold. So if you want to see that, stay tuned. I'm gonna pause the video and we're gonna go do that. All right, here we are at the big cross now. I'm going to pour this cross out, or the epoxy out, into this cross mold. Try to get some good light for y'all over here. See, it's always better to not over pour, but over mix, like mix more than what you need, so you don't come up short. And you have all these molds laying around for stuff like this, so when you have extra, you can actually make more, versus having to mix up more epoxy because you didn't pour enough. I might have to grab another mold. I don't know, maybe not. This probably fit all into here. I don't know, maybe. This is getting full already, and I still got a little bit left. This is going to be a thick cross right here. What's the cool blue, though? Yeah, I'm just going to force it all into this one. It's going to be the thickest cross I've ever poured here. Man, this thing's filling up. And like a while ago when I was doing that baseball keychain, I gotta stop right about here because I don't want to overflow. I mean, if it does barely overflow, once it cures, I can actually trim the edges with my router. And that'll clean that up. That's what's left in the bucket, just barely anything. I have a coaster mold. I can probably pour this into a coaster, but I just want to show you this. We'll hit this with the torch, pop some bubbles. There you go. One more time real quick. Lower the heat. I'm probably going to come back in with the alcohol, which I don't have up here with me right now, and just spray it. And that helps cool it down, and it pops the bubbles, and it makes it look really cool. So anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in and checking out the Battleship pour. That's going to be really, really cool when it's done. And then also checking out these overflow pours into these molds with the cross and the baseball. Let me show you some samples of the baseballs I've been making. I got some that are already done, some that are still in process here. Made different kinds, different colors. So that's what I do. Instead of wasting it and throwing it away, I just pour them into these little molds, because this ain't much. And I can make little knickknacks and keychains and stuff out of the leftovers, like what's in the bucket there. So anyway, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna leave you with this. Check it out. That's a pretty color. Thanks for watching. Alright, so the last thing I did was I simply just took a blow dryer and I hit the epoxy in here, look, and just kind of blew the epoxy around to make it look like waves, like so. Kind of just made little ripples and stuff to make it look like waves. That's all I did since last time. Now I'm about to add some waves. What I did is I took some white epoxy, well, not white, it's called pearl, and I got it mixed up right here. I'm just going to take some up in here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it in front of the ship on both sides. This might take too long to do because this syringe thing is so tiny. I might just do something else. But anyway, I figure I could like precisely place it in here a little bit better. Let me do the other side, and I'm gonna hit it with the blow dryer and see what kind of effects this gives me. I want to make it look like it's, you know, in the water cruising and just pushing waves, you know. I don't want a whole bunch of waves. Uh-oh. No, no, no. Get over there. I don't want you in there. Well, I probably would have cut that off anyway. Anyway. Let's see what it looks like when I go to push it with this blow dryer. Oh man, it got all over the ship. Damn it. That was not the plan. I have this thing on the lowest setting too. I'm about to clean that ship off before that cures on there. I'll do that off camera though. Just trying to make it. Alright. I see what it's doing and I know what I want it to do. I'm just going to pour it out of the container itself because this little syringe is not working for me. This was my mock-up, but if I would have poured the rest of this mock-up, I would have ran out of epoxy over here. So I decided to just go ahead with this one. I don't want to over pour it and pour too much, but it's kind of random because I don't want to put that blow dryer in here. It's going to move all these everywhere, and it should leave like a stream back here. Actually, you know, I'm just going to pour a little bit out back here. I'm going to go around this ship here. It sort of is working, and it's sort of not working. Well, I mean, it's kind of cool looking though. It kind of looks like a little bit of weight. Not as good as I was expecting it to, but not too bad. I'm just going to pour a little more just because I have a little bit left. Right there. A little bit up here. And I'll hit some up in the front. Alright, that's all the white I got. Pearl, not white. Actually, you know what? Let me just try to do this. Mix it up with the stick itself. That actually don't look too bad. And then I'll hit this again with the blow dryer. As my son that's recording farted and now he's laughing. me hit it with the alcohol and see what that looks like. There we go. Now I'm just going to hit it with a torch, make sure all bubbles are popped. Whoa! I forgot, you gotta wait a second after you pour alcohol because it will catch on fire.
Dang.
Woo! Boy, I tell you what. I forgot you're supposed to wait about 30 seconds or so, let it kind of evaporate a little bit. Oops. Alright, should be going now. Yeah, there we go. That was funny, huh?
I caught that.
Good, I'm glad you got it on video. Alright. I kind of want to hit it with a blow dryer again. But then I don't. It looks kind of cool though. Here, let me show y'all with the white. Looks pretty neat. I'm liking it though. Watch, I'm gonna hit it with the heat again, pop bubbles, and then we'll add some more alcohol to it after the fire, and not the other way around. I'll do some heavy droplets. And then we could use this to kind of push it around.
It looks like little ripples.
I kind of want to keep messing with it because it's not the look I'm looking for. But with the pearl that is in there, it does look kind of cool. And it will move. It will continue to move as it settles and cures and starts to get gummy and hardened. It will still move around and do some different cool things. All right, here comes some fire. I'm gonna catch on fire this time. Try and pop all the bubbles. Micro bubbles you can't even see. I don't know, it looks pretty neat. I mean, what do you think? You're probably yelling at the camera right now. Leave it alone, just stop touching it. My brain is saying that, but then also my other part of the brain is like, no, keep going, it ain't good enough. I like this look back here behind the ship. But then it's got too much not going on up here. I don't know, I kind of want more white in it, you know? Should I go mix up some more white and try to do that again, or just leave it simple?
I think you should like make it look like it's like splashing the waves as it's moving. So like lots of weight back here.
Should I go mix up some more of this?
Like, you know, like if they like kind of come out from the ship.
Let's see what happens here. That's the cool thing about epoxy though is you can always manipulate it to get a different look. It looks a little more wakey, like wavy, crashing, whatever you want to call it. Waves. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. But see, as you push it around, it comes back. But it does look like a ship sitting in the water, and that was the goal. Now it's just like, can I be satisfied with the color of the water, or the ripples, or the curves, the lines, everything that I can't make my mind up about. I'll just do this.
This is what I was thinking.
Just kind of do it like this, and
But like white, kind of.
maybe I just do white and
Like white and do that with it and just leave
just
it.
kind of pull it back here to make it look like it's leaving a trail.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Looks super light. Let's see, water don't have these cell looking like the cellulose look like this. That kind of smoothed that out a little bit better. I just don't want to burn it. With straight flame like that, you cannot be on it long. You will burn the epoxy. The epoxy does burn. But with a blow dryer, it's not as hot, so you can move it around, stay on there a little bit longer. I don't know. I think I'm just going to be done with it now. Let's just kind of make a little look back here. You saw the smoke coming up. That's when it starts to burn. I think I'm just going to leave it now. Because if I keep messing with it, it's just going to keep not doing what I want it to do. As I mess with it again. Alright, I'm done. I say, yeah. I'm just going to let it do its exothermic reaction. It's going to continue moving on its own, but not far from where it's at now. And I think it looks pretty cool, even though it's kind of like all twisty back here. I wish I was able to make the blue look a little bit better. Maybe I'll let it harden. I don't know. I don't want to put more blue or white on it later after the... I don't know. Maybe it will work. I'm not quite sure. Because I have a feeling it's not going to turn out the way I want to. I'm going to be pissed about it. So I'd rather just leave it alone as it is now and just continue with it. So I'm going to leave it at that. See what y'all think about it. That's behind the ship there. Going up next to the ship. It doesn't really like push out waves like I was expecting it to. I don't know how to do that. I don't have that skill. Which one of the videos I've watched that do that, they just use a blow dryer and push it out. But it's also on a thin tabletop pour, not a thicker deep cast pour like I have here. But Looks pretty cool though. It's not exactly what I want, but I'm still happy with it. And we'll see what it looks like tomorrow when it's fully cured. What do y'all think? Tell me what you think about this. Thoughts in the comments. Because after this, all it's going is going to be a clear pour to cover the entire thing. And then it'll be done once I trim everything up and finish it. What do you think? Okay, I wasn't happy with the last one. So I sampled right here on my leftover pour from earlier. I like this, so we're going to try that again. Alright, we're going to just do like a little trail behind the ship. And we're going to come out this way. And we're going to come back this way a little bit. Then we're going to kind of just push these out. And push these out some. Whoa, that was a little too much. Now I'll just put some more thicker ones in here. And we're going to play with this and see what I can get. This is a mess. It's all sticky. All right, ready? Here we go. Bruh. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Man, that's a whole lot better. And that's kind of what I was going for a while ago. There we go. That is a whole lot better. So I'll get this up against the ship a little bit more and we'll try it again. Just because I want more wide up against the ship. Whoa. I'll kind of get this back this way some. All right. That is a whole lot better. Yes, I'm glad I came back and tried it again. Look at this, man. This is neat. This is neat looking. But what I want to do is kind of move this front up some. Just make it look more wavy. There we go. There we go. It looks like more natural water movement. Yes, 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 yes. This is awesome. I like this. I'm glad I second guessed myself and came back and played with it again. Now, how cool is this? It's not the perfect waves, but it looks really cool. Yeah. What do y'all think about that? A little trail behind the ship, because you know as it goes it leaves the wake back there. This is neat. I can't wait till I finish this thing, take it outside in the sunlight and look at it. It's gonna be so pretty. Yeah, buddy. That is freaking awesome. Now tell me what you think about this one. Here's my Battleship project. Cured a day later after making these waves. Oh yeah, look at that. They actually look like it's trailing behind. Got a little bit of movement off the boat right there. I call it a boat, sorry. It's a ship, I know. Looks pretty good though. Let me get my light out so you can see it better. And look at that. So cool. I was frustrated last night when I couldn't get it, so I came back later and did it before it cured and got the look I was going for. I am happy with this. It looks really good. What do y'all think? I'm back and I'm going to do the next step, and I was going to use the rest of this epoxy, but I don't know why that is yellowing. So I'm doing just a small kit right here, 6 ounces, just to see how clear it will be with that yellowing in there. It looks pretty clear, but if you look at these two, you see how clear they are, how white they are compared to how yellow that is. I know that these two will come out very clear, but these two is coming out like this, and I don't like it. Even without the stick in there, it's clear, but it's got a little yellow hue to it. So I think what I'm gonna do with this one is I think I'm just gonna pour it in the cracks, because it's gonna be hidden. You ain't gonna be able to see it, and if it's yellow-ish, you can't really tell because it's gonna be down there. And this little crevice down here that goes all the way down the bottom. I did not put blue in there. That's one of the bolt holes, not butt holes, bolt holes. Yeah, I think I'll pour a little bit of this in there too, just that way I don't use it. Waste it, not use it. I am going to use it, but don't waste it. Anyway, I'm going to do that. The other bucket that I have in there is not enough to cover that depth. So from here up to the top, we got 2.5 inches, but that over there is only going to pour about 2 inches worth. So I'm going to be about a 1/2 inch shy. So I'm going to have to order some more epoxy to do that, or pour in multiple layers with tabletop, which I can do. Is just a pain because it's going to take even longer to get done versus just doing a deep cast. I might just order more and make a bigger deep cast and do one pour instead of multiple. But I'll use this to fill in all these cracks and stuff for now. Alright, that's what I'm doing next. You like the waves? That came out pretty good, didn't it? Alright, well, that last video didn't pan out to be what I wanted because I forgot I don't have a seal here in this corner, and everything I poured in there has now leaked out into there. So this side also did the same thing because I forgot there's no inside corners. I guess on this corner down here is pretty sealed up because there's not a leak in this corner, and it's actually just sitting right there on the top. That being said, I did add a flag because when it got towed from San Jacinto, for you non-locals, when it got towed from San Jacinto to Galveston, it had American flag on there right behind that front tower. I'm sorry, I don't know the proper name of it because I wasn't in the Navy. I don't know the name of this tower thing up here, but whatever, there was a flag behind it, so I put an American flag in there. Anyway, so this being as clear as it is and not as yellow as I expected it to be, I'm going to go ahead and mix it up. I've already poured out the container that I had that had yellow, plus what I have left over of those two for this deep cast. So we got 160 ounces of part A over half of that of part B, which is 80 ounces for a total of 240. And I'm just going to mix this up. As right now you can see, you cannot see through it. It is cloudy. I gotta mix it up and make it clear, so let's do it. Alright, here is the Battleship project. It is poured, still liquidy. It's just got to sit here and cure for 3 days now. But it's fully encapsulated. You can see the reflection of the light. The layer of epoxy goes all the way above top of the wood, as you can see. Perfectly smooth across the top, just like glass, except for right there. I have 2 little high spots, which is okay, because when I get done and pop it out of the mold, I'm going to do another layer on top. So those would be covered. The top of the flag and that little front area, whatever that's called. Anyway, check it out. Pretty cool. The waves came out good. You like it? What you think? Pretty cool. hard to see the little 35 now that it's down in here, but it's it there. See the American flag? At this angle, it makes it look like not even 2D, like kind of flat. Like it got shrunk. Well, there you have it, guys. Sit here and cure for a few days. And then when it's all done, I can finish it up. And this one little spot right here keeps popping bubbles. That's the reason I gotta do another layer on the top later, because it keeps breathing. It's alive. All right, there it is. Almost complete. She's a beauty.
I'm back and I'm going to do the next step, and I was going to use the rest of this epoxy, but I don't know why that is yellowing. So I'm doing just a small kit right here, 6 ounces, just to see how clear it will be with that yellowing in there. It looks pretty clear, but if you look at these two, you see how clear they are, how white they are compared to how yellow that is. I know that these two will come out very clear, but these two is coming out like this, and I don't like it. Even without the stick in there, it's clear, but it's got a little yellow hue to it. So I think what I'm gonna do with this one is I'm just gonna pour it in the cracks, because it's gonna be hidden. You ain't gonna be able to see it, and if it's yellow-ish, you can't really tell because it's gonna be down there. And this little crevice down here that goes all the way down the bottom, I did not put blue in there. That's one of the bolt holes, not butt holes, bolt holes. Yeah, I think I'll pour a little bit of this in there too, just that way I don't use it, waste it, not use it. I am going to use it, but don't waste it. Anyway, I'm going to do that. The other bucket that I have in there is not enough to cover that depth. So from here up to the top, we got 2.5 inches, but that over there is only going to pour about 2 inches worth. So I'm going to be about a 1/2 inch shy. So I'm going to have to order some more epoxy to do that, or pour in multiple layers with tabletop, which I can do. Is just a pain because it's going to take even longer to get done versus just doing a deep cast. I might just order more and make a bigger deep cast and do one pour instead of multiple. But I'll use this to fill in all these cracks and stuff for now. Alright, that's what I'm doing next. You like the waves? That came out pretty good, didn't it? Alright, well, that last video didn't pan out to be what I wanted because I forgot I don't have a seal here in this corner, and everything I poured in there has now leaked out into there. So this side also did the same thing because I forgot there's no inside corners. I guess on this corner down here is pretty sealed up because there's not a leak in this corner. And it's actually just sitting right there on the top. That being said, I did add a flag because when it got towed from San Jacinto, for you non-locals, when it got towed from San Jacinto to Galveston, it had American flag on there, right behind that front tower. I'm sorry, I don't know the proper name of it because I wasn't in the Navy. I don't know the name of this tower thing up here, but whatever, there was a flag behind it, so I put American flag in there. Anyway, so this being as clear as it is and not as yellow as I expected it to be,
I'm going to go ahead and mix it up. I've already poured out the container that I had that had yellow, plus what I have left over of those two for this deep cast. So we got 160 ounces of part A over half of that of part B, which is 80 ounces for a total of 240. And I'm just going to mix this up. As right now you can see, you cannot see through it. It is cloudy. I gotta mix it up and make it clear. So let's do it. Alright, here is the Battleship project. It is poured, still liquidy. It's just got to sit here and cure for 3 days now. But it's fully encapsulated. You can see the reflection of the light. The layer of epoxy goes all the way above top of the wood, as you can see. Perfectly smooth across the top, just like glass, except for right there. I have 2 little high spots, which is okay, because when I get done and pop it out of the mold, I'm going to do another layer on top. So those would be covered. The top of the flag and that little front area, whatever that's called. Anyway, check it out. Pretty cool. The waves came out good. You like it? What you think? Pretty cool. Kind of hard to see the little 35 now that it's down in here, but it's it there. See the American flag? At this angle, it makes it look like not even 2D, like kind of flat. Like it got shrunk. Well, there you have it, guys. Sit here and cure for a few days. And then when it's all done, I can finish it up. And this one little spot right here keeps popping bubbles. That's the reason I gotta do another layer on the top later, because it keeps breathing. It's alive. All right, there it is. Almost complete. She's a beauty.
Howdy folks, today is December 7th, and in 1941 Pearl Harbor was attacked, and the USS Arizona was attacked, and that's a battleship. And here recently I've been working on a battleship project myself, and I 3D printed a battleship. I hand painted it. I made it out of resin, not the filament print, and I put it in some epoxy to make a battleship project using battleship wood from the Battleship Texas, USS Texas, which is currently being renovated right now. Anyway, I had a major fail. Check it out here. So it looks good until you see all the liquid that came out of the resin ship here itself, and a major crack. That being said, this battleship has been sunken. I gotta scrap this and redo it. So, stay tuned on my YouTube if you want to see updates. I have plans to fix this. Well, actually not fix this, but scrap part of it and redo it. Anyway, we're going to honor, I am going to honor Pearl Harbor by playing of taps. And it just so happens to be my battleship that went down too. So we're going to honor the ones who lost their lives on December 7, 1941 with taps right here, right now. Here we go. That's to honor our fallen. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for what this project's going to turn into be.